Before we get into the video, I'm going to say one thing. The disrespect when it comes to Knicks fans in this championship needs to stop. Blackout Sports, let's get into it.
Blackout!
Salute to everybody tuning in to this episode of Blackout Sports Knicks. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you're a new follower. And make sure you type in "Let's Go Knicks" in the comments, man. And I had to pop up today. We're not going to talk about the draft. Shout out to the draft. We'll get into that in a later video. But I woke up this morning and a couple of reels popped up on my phone with a lot of disrespect to New York Knicks fans about how the New York Knicks fans need to act when it comes to this championship. A lot of people putting a small percentage of Knicks fans into their perspective and thinking that the whole city of Knicks fans and a whole slew of Knicks fans all over the country, as we saw during the course of these playoffs with New York Knicks fans taking over these arenas, even San Antonio in the NBA Finals, that Knicks fans don't know how to act and that Knicks fans don't deserve this championship. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull up a couple of reels that I saw. One of them was totally blasphemous. I'm going to play that one first. I'm not going to name no names. You'll see the name on the screen. But we're going to watch these videos and then we're going to talk and we're going to react. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it, man, because it appears that this video is from Brandon Walker saying that the Knicks are likable, but their fans aren't. And listen to what he says, and I got a retort for him. So let's get into it, man.
This is the most likable team that I'm happiest for with the most unlikable fan base I've ever seen in my entire life. Brunson is likable. Cat is now likable. Josh Hart, oh my God, I love the way he plays basketball. Yeah. Anunoby is like, they're all likable. You look at these guys, my God, let's celebrate this. And then let's go outside the arena and watch World War III happen as everybody's turning over school buses and doing all this. And then you go online and you guys are acting like you're acting like. I am so happy for the Knicks. It ends there because the rest of you don't deserve this.
All right, man. Let me stop this trash here. Not him, but his take. It's absolutely terrible. Let's address one thing when it comes to New York Knicks fans. Okay, let's get them out of here. We saw the real. People are grouping 10% of idiots into how New York Knicks fans really are. Let me start out by saying this. I was in the city for the whole NBA Finals run. No, not game one, game two. The San Antonio Spurs were on the road. I came back home for game three, game four, and game five. I've never seen the city so together. There wasn't any negativity in the streets. I had people stopping me in traffic if they saw me with my Knicks gear on. Yo, what the Knicks doing tonight? We winning tonight? Let's go Knicks. Walking down the street with my kid. We on Jamaica Ave, shopping, trying to get our Knicks gear. Yo, shout out to the Knicks. Let's go Knicks. Knicks in 5, Knicks in 6. I haven't seen New York City that much together since 9/11. Let's go ahead and keep that real. So the people that he's talking about are 10% of who Knicks fans really are. 90% of Knicks fans aren't turning over school buses, aren't fighting in the street. They're just trying to celebrate their team. There's this growing narrative around Knicks fans that they can't handle victory, right? I did some research today. Just a little bit. Just a little bit of research. Now, according to, I don't want to say his name too many times, this guy's, his accent. I can tell you're not even from New York, and that's the issue. There's a lot of people criticizing New York Knicks fans who have never been to New York, have never lived in New York, who have never tapped in with Knicks fans like that and seen the other 90% of Knicks fans who just genuinely love this team and want to support this team and want to celebrate a championship that they've been starving for since 1973. That's all Knicks fans are trying to do. But they group in this 10%. But notice, when they talk about Knicks fans, they don't talk about the Los Angeles Lakers fans who rioted after the 2020 finals, they don't talk about that. They don't say Lakers fans don't deserve that championship. No, they don't do that. You saw the shirt that he had on. They don't talk about the Boston riots that happened after the Red Sox won the 2004 championship. Still breaks my heart as a Yankees fan. I know you see me with my Mets gear on. Shout out to the Mets, by the way. It's my lineage. I'm really supposed to root for them. But they don't talk about that. They don't talk about the riots that happened in Chicago after almost every championship that the Chicago Bulls won. They don't talk about those fans, do they? But like the narrative, the cool thing to do is to crap on the Knicks and their fans. Like they don't have a right to celebrate this team. And I don't agree with what happens in the street with these idiots burning buses, shots being fired in Times Square. I don't condone any of that. But as far as Knicks fans being insufferable with how they're talking about their team popping their mess, people want to act like for the past 30 years, people haven't been talking crap to Knicks fans. How many Knicks fans in here watching this video right now has brought their Knicks hat or their Knicks jersey somewhere and they're like, "How you root for the Knicks and they're terrible?" To your face. What's the pleasantry in that? So now that the New York Knicks have won the championship, and I'm not even talking about the doubt of the media and all of that driving that narrative so people feel like it's cool to talk crap about the Knicks. That's another story for another day. The media is guilty of that too. But for people to start acting like these New York Knicks fans don't have a right to have anything to say after the disrespect that they've been shown over the course of these decades, and that 10% of idiots resemble 100% of Knicks fans, is absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous, man. So we're going to get into another video, because this one I have personal experience with, by the way. This one I have personal experience with to know that this guy is wrong. The disrespect for Knicks fans is absolutely crazy. Not ruining my morning, but it's absolutely crazy. This clip, I don't know his name, but the podcast is called Stuff About Sports. Salute to you, my guy. Keep doing what you're doing. I support you. I'm still going to follow your channel. I don't know your name, but I'm not criticizing you as a person. I'm not criticizing your podcast, but we're going to talk about this, especially because I live in North Carolina, all right? Close to home.
While both being significant in terms of winning championships, to me, the better story is Carolina winning a title more so than New York Knicks winning a title for a couple different reasons. Rob Brindamore doing something that only 3 other players have ever done and hasn't been done since the 50s, winning a title as a player, which he did back in 2006, and then now a coach, obviously this year in 2026. Not only solidifying him as a Hall of Famer, which maybe he was already, but definitely the greatest Hurricane of all time. So that was a big significant thing. And then honestly, when it comes to the Knicks, the issue isn't them winning a title. Good for them. But what people are talking about is the fans. It ruins it. Like, look how Raleigh was celebrating, and then look at how New York was celebrating. You look at Raleigh, nobody was twerking on street poles. Nobody was fighting. Nobody was destroying buses and destroying cars and destroying buildings. Everybody was just happy. Everybody was just that showing you how you're supposed to celebrate winning a title instead of showing your ass. Like, nobody wants to see that. And nobody cheers for a team and nobody's happy for a team when you have the fans who don't know how to behave. So shout out to Raleigh, North Carolina for showing New York how to behave when they're winning a championship.
Shout out to Raleigh. Shout out to Raleigh. Shout out to the Carolina Hurricanes, bro. Let's address his first point. Let's get him out of here, man. Salute to you, bro. Let's address his first point. That the Carolina Hurricanes, this is where the narrative gets disgusting. In my opinion, this is where it gets nasty. The Carolina Hurricanes winning a championship is more impactful and means more than the New York Knicks winning a championship for the first time since 1973? You want to talk about one guy being one of only three to win the title? How about Jalen Brunson being one of only two small guards to win the NBA title? And I don't even count Steph Curry like that. Steph Curry's like 6'3". Different play style. A shooter. Can't get to the rim, but a shooter. Had KD, Kevin Durant around him all the time. Come on, man, let's stop. Let's stop with that narrative. If you want to talk about, the actions of Knicks fans, all right, I can give you that. But start the video off with saying that the Carolina Hurricanes championship means more and has more impact than the New York Knicks winning this NBA championship, and to totally dismiss the accomplishment of Jalen Brunson to try to fit your argument is absolutely mind-blowing to me. Absolutely mind-blowing to me. There's no twerking in the streets. You don't know that. I know Raleigh. And I know Charlotte. Oh, there was twerking going on somewhere. I'm gonna just say that. Maybe you didn't catch it on cam. Maybe they didn't catch that on cam. But I'm sure there was somebody twerking somewhere. Plus, the Carolina Hurricanes, this is a hockey team. I don't know what type of music they was playing out there. Maybe there wasn't music for anybody to twerk to. So there's that. But this constant show New York Knicks fans how to win. Let's get personal here. All right? And I do believe I've told this story on this podcast. I took my son to the final matchup last season of the New York Knicks versus the Charlotte Hornets. Let's talk about this act like you know how to win aspect, right? So after the game, I'm not saying anything to anybody. I didn't say anything to anybody going in the building. I had my kid with me. I got to worry about my career. I'm just trying to take my son to see his favorite team, the Charlotte Hornets, play, who actually just traded their star in LaMelo Ball for whatever reason. I like Kobe White, but Kobe White's not better than LaMelo Ball. That team was finally getting their stuff together. We saw how dangerous they were at the end of the season. All they had to do was run it back with a couple more pieces, but that's a story for another time. Act like you know how to win. After that game, me and my son were walking down the street, trying to get back to the parking lot, trying to get back to the car so we can beat the Charlotte traffic, which is absolutely god-awful after Charlotte Hornets games. Please fix that. 2 hours to get out of a parking lot is crazy. Please fix that. But we're walking down the street, and people weren't direct. So maybe that's something, Knicks fans, we're direct. We're going to tell you to your face, one, how we feel. So Charlotte can do a little bit better there. But people are walking by me saying slick stuff about the Knicks. Oh, and they wearing their jerseys. I'm glad they got their ass whooped tonight. I'm walking down the street. My keys are kind of hanging out my pocket. Somebody grabs my keys as I'm walking towards the car. Got a story about somebody in the Charlotte Hornets organization who blew my son off that he was really excited to see. So there's that too. So when people talk about how Knicks fans act towards other opposing players, fans, I don't agree with the violence part. But let's not act like when I was walking down the street, I didn't get touched. Let's not act like when I was walking down the street, people weren't saying slick things on the side of me and not to my face to try to see if I was going to react. And the reason why I did it is because I understand sports. I understood Charlotte. And I was actually happy for Charlotte that they had a winning team. Might change now. So anybody that was talking to me on that day, the New York Knicks won a chip and you traded your star. So there's that clap back. But we're acting like these fans and other teams are so God perfect, and that the New York Knicks fans are so terrible and so insufferable and so dangerous that they can't enjoy a championship that they've been waiting for 53 years. Absolutely blasphemous. The narrative is getting out of control. It's absolutely trash, because when you look at the things that go on in this country, I'm not getting political, but let's keep it real here. When we think about the things that we see in this country, especially when it comes to things that happen with Black people in the police department, what do they tell us? Oh, it's only 10% of cops that do that. All cops aren't like that. It's only, few idiots. But the rest of the cops, they're great people. So it's cool for people to have that mindset when it comes to the things that Black people experience in America. And I know these are on two totally different talking points on the totem pole. I get that, but you get my point. It's okay for people to have that narrative, but when it comes to Knicks fans celebrating a title and there's 10% of idiots, now Knicks fans don't deserve to celebrate a title, it's hard to root for this team. He pointed out who Jalen Brunson is, who Karl-Anthony Towns is, who Mikal Bridges is, who Josh Hart is. Those guys showcase who the 90% of New York Knicks fans actually are. But I get it. It's a talking point. It's clickbait. Knicks for clicks. That's what that is. So like I said, starting out this video, we're going to close out here. The disrespect that these people are showing to Knicks fans who go to that arena, regardless if the team is good or not, and pays exorbitant prices to support their team. People who, what we saw in the playoffs, while I disagree about the ticket prices in Madison Square Garden, $4,000 just to get in a building to watch your team win the finals, which I kind of understand how the moment was that big going against Victor Wembanyama, the future, the future face of the NBA, apparently. I get why the ticket prices were so high. But the fans love the team enough to travel to Philadelphia, pack out that building, show their team some support. To pack out Atlanta, to show their team some support. To pack out Cleveland, out of all places, to show their team support. 40%, 30% of Knicks fans in the building. Nothing happened in Atlanta. I had some issues in San Antonio. Nothing happened in Philly. Nothing happened in Cleveland, right? So you generalizing this 10% into all Knicks fans. Don't you think that everywhere Knicks fans go, buses are going to be on fire? People are going to get jumped in the street? Don't you think if it was all Knicks fans, it would happen worldwide when the Knicks are playing in their city? Does it happen then? No. But what people want to do is people not only want to disrespect Knicks fans, but they want to disrespect the city of New York. And we ain't having that. We're not doing it. 10% of people act like idiots when the New York Knicks win the championship. True. But let's not act like we haven't seen the same thing in Boston in 2004. We didn't see the same thing in LA in 2008. and 2020. Like we didn't see that in Boston in 2004. And I do believe when the Boston Bruins won, they were wilding out there too. But anybody say anything about that? Anybody say those fans are insufferable? No, they didn't. I wonder why. And I didn't even get into college teams. Oh boy, college teams in college towns? Do you hear? Their fans are insufferable. They don't deserve to celebrate the Natty or March Madness. You don't hear none of that stuff when it comes to that. It's only the Knicks. It's only the Knicks, man. Like I said, regardless if the New York Knicks won a championship, the disrespect is still clearly there. And it needs to stop.
Yeah, dig.